Hey guys, R.V.F here, and you're watching the first video in a brand new series. And this is the series called The Read and Review. So this is completely live, no scripted or anything, and I'm reading a story called The Scarlet Envelope. It's a creepypasta story. Basically, I just hit the random pasta thing on the website. So I'm just going to read it and give my thoughts. So far it's got like a 5 out of 10 rating, so not the best, but whatever, haven't read this yet. Anyway, starting now. George never got sick. Well, almost never. He was well into his 30s, and had been working in an office job for almost 7 years now. It was a standard 8 to 5 job, and he found comfort in the monotony of it. Monotony. Crap, what's wrong with me? In the monotony of it. This particular Tuesday, however, George woke up from stomach pains and a massive headache. He got out of bed as soon as he stood up. Oh, shit. Okay, let me go. Let's do that again. He got out of bed, and as soon as he stood up, a wave of nausea washed over him, and he rushed to the bathroom violently vomiting. There was no doubt about it. The man who almost never got sick was definitely going to have to call into work and let them know he wasn't going to make it. He just did that and flopped back onto his bed. George was a lonely man who had the apartment all to himself. Not that he was using anything with the bed at the moment. He closed his eyes and sleep. That's great grammar. He closed his eyes and sleep for what seemed like days, but had actually only been several hours. He woke up feeling refreshed, and thankfully his nausea and headache were gone. There was a feeling of dread, depression, and hopelessness, and he shook his head thinking it was just his sick state, but the feelings didn't disappear. This came out of nowhere, didn't it? He slowly got out of bed, no nausea attacking him this time. The despair increased as he got closer to the bathroom to relieve the pressure on his bladder. That's an elegant way of putting it. He couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Something was out of place. He quickly finished his business and turned back to his bed, hoping he needed some more rest. I'm bad at reading, aren't I? I'm usually better than this. That's when he saw her. An old woman with tattered clothes, grey wisps of hair in patches, what the hell's wrong with me? A cloak of some dead animal draped around her shoulders, and long, slender fingers walked ever so slowly up the sidewalk of the cul-de-sac of his small house was in. I don't know. Is that a new term? Is that a term I don't know about? The cul-de-sac? The sidewalk of the cul-de-sac his small house is in. Might be. I don't know. I am clueless. He shivered involuntarily. The woman was very out of place in the upscale neighborhood, and there was something unnerving about her. He watched as the woman passed by his house and stopped in front of the house right next to his. She walked over to his neighbor's mailbox and reached inside her cloak. A red envelope was produced, and she placed it inside the mailbox. Suddenly, she turned her head and looked right at him. George jerked back and leaned against the wall, out of sight. He counted to 5, and then leaned to take a peek out of the window. The woman was gone. Well, she vanished pretty suddenly, didn't she? 5 seconds and there's not a trace. I don't know, whatever. She might be a teleporter for all we know. Now, at this moment, George was thinking he was more sick than he had previously thought. He quickly rushed back to his bed and fell asleep, not even realizing that the feeling of dread was gone. The next day, George was feeling much better and had completely forgotten about the old woman from yesterday. He went to work like he always did, and when the day was done, he headed home. This is just fucking thrilling, isn't it? I'm amazed at how scary this is so far. Ooh. As he turned into the cul-de-sac, he could see that something was going on. There were quite a few police cars surrounding the house next to his, and slowly Wow, I'm bad at reading. Okay, this isn't the story's fault, this is mine. And he slowly pulled into the driveway, wondering what was going on. He was met by a police officer at his front door. Sir, we need to ask you a few questions about the Chavez family. That's a weird name. Oh yes, of course. George furrowed his brow. Something had happened. He wondered if they were okay. Sir, can you tell me how many family members the Chavez family have? Mother, father, 2 boys, so that makes 4 total. Oh, gee, basic math. But seriously, do many people know their neighbors that well? I know I don't know my neighbors that well. Anyway. Thank you. What were you doing around 12 p.m. today? I was at work. Do you have any way to validate that? I can't speak. I don't know why I can't speak. George gave the officer his boss's number, and after a few minutes of talking on the phone, he thanked George for his time and turned to go. Wait, what happened? Are they okay? Sir, the Chavez family was murdered today. Well, okay, this is the problem I have with most stories. That's not how I don't think that's how the news would be delivered. And he did it so matter-of-factly, like, sir, the family's been murdered. Like, no emotion, no nothing. Come on, like, no one speaks like that. No, that's not how I would deliver the news. I'd be like, sir, there's something I need to tell you. It's pretty damn serious. Yeah, I wouldn't say it like that. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, whatever. Moving on from the nitpick. George's mouth gaped open in shock. Murdered? That was crazy. His neighborhood had always been a pleasant, out-of-the-way one... what the hell? Okay, well, that was structured very poorly. His neighborhood had always been a pleasant, out-of-the-way one where nothing happened. Oh my god, this grammar. It's amazing. There were no commas in that sentence, by the way. I'll put a screen cap on it. Anyway. As he was laying in bed, about to go to sleep, he suddenly remembered the old woman and the red envelope. Geez, just now. Like, not at all. Like, that... my mind would have gone to that pretty quickly, mate. I don't know, that's just me. He shook his head. There was no way any kind of God damn it. There was no way there was any kind of connection to the murder. He didn't sleep well that night. The next day, he went to work like normal and tried to forget about the old woman and the murder of his next-door neighbors. He got home... Sorry, I just scrolled down the page a little, so I'm trying to find where I was. He got home, and as per his usual habit, he went right away to his mailbox to get his mail. He lowered the cover. Jeez, I wonder if he's going to have a red envelope or not. Jeez, I fucking wonder. I cannot tell. No way in all of hell. Jeez, this story is throwing me for a goddamn loop. Where was I? I went on another tangent. Okay. Next day, went to work like normal, tried to forget that the old woman woke up, usual habit, yada 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 yada. Looked. He lowered the cover and almost fell down in surprise. There was only one thing in his mailbox, and it was a small red envelope. Jeez, nah, I didn't see that one coming, not at all. I might be being really, really loud. Sorry if I'm being really, really loud. I'll try and turn it down in the editor. Anyway. It had no return address and no stamp. It was just addressed to him in scratchy red ink. He grabbed it and rushed into the house. He was going to burn the envelope. He opened the cupboard where he kept his matches, but they weren't there. He cursed at himself and rummaged through these drawers and cupboards, desperately trying to find matches or a lighter hiding somewhere. Hiding? The fuck? Okay, whatever. He felt it again. That feeling of absolute despair. It washed down on him and clutched the count. It weighed down on him, and he clutched the counter for support. There, I can speak. Footsteps sounded on the floor behind him. He hadn't heard the door open. He turned quickly and saw the same old woman from before standing before him. As soon as his eyes fell on her. Wow, okay. Proofreading. Does it exist? Not in this story. Okay. Where the fuck was I? As soon as his eyes fell on her, the feeling of despair increased tenfold, and he slowly slid to the floor. He couldn't even stand. It was like the energy was being sucked out of him. He watched as the woman stepped closer and closer to him, her footsteps unnaturally loud. The last thing he remembered was the grin on the woman's face, the red envelope still clutched tightly in his hand. Okay, this was uploaded by... That's the end, by the way. This was uploaded by... I cannot... Okay, give me a minute, guys. Credit to... The writing's in red. It's really hard to bloody read in red. Okay, zooming in. Credit to Jodeco. I don't know if that was the writer. I can't see an uploader. Whatever, it was pretty shit, to be honest. Initial reviews and thoughts. Yeah, I mean, the grammar was pretty crap throughout, and the story was relatively predictable. You know, yeah. It's not the worst story out there. I mean, it's not as bad as Jeff the fucking Killer or anything, but it's certainly not good. 5 out of 10. That's a relatively average. That's a relatively accurate score, I'd say. I'd probably rate it a little bit lower, like maybe 4 or something. But 5 out of 10. Not the worst, but not good by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, that's this video. First in a new series, the read and review. So this is completely unscripted, as you might have heard from my excellent narration. Completely unscripted, and I've got a new microphone, by the way. It's a crap one, but it's better than what I had. Better than using my goddamn phone for it. So I've got something at least. Brand new series. Read and review. This was the Scarlet Envelope. I can't speak. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.